If you read that New York Times piece where on paragraph 17 they admit their laptop is real, it's clear that they got a lot of help from Team Biden in the story. This concerns a grand jury that was convened in 2018 to look into allegations of tax evasion and money laundering involving Hunter Biden. The fact that Team Biden, decided to actually cooperate with the New York Times on a story is a direct indication to me that they are extremely concerned that Hunter Biden is in fact going to be indicted. They even dropped a couple nuggets in there that said, yes, Hunter Biden failed to pay his taxes. He recently made a $1 million payment to the IRS. And juries and judges tend to, even if people are convicted of of tax evasion, they tend not to give them long prison sentences if they paid their taxes. This is all about management control. The problem is, Stu, that the laptop does not just point the finger at Hunter Biden, it points a finger at Joe Biden. Because as he's taking in all this money where he's not paying taxes, one of the beneficiaries of the money is Joe Biden. The laptop shows that Hunter Biden's paying his monthly bills. He's doing things like renovations on his home that is illegal, but will come out in this tax case. So they have a very real problem in my view. You know, it involves a number of countries. Russia, for example, you had a lot of pro-Putin oligarchs that were sending millions of dollars to Hunter Biden. You had the situation in Ukraine. To me, the most troubling aspect of the Biden story concerns specifically China. Because the laptop shows that the Biden family received some $31 million from deals in China, deals that they brought nothing to this table on, and that those deals were arranged by 4 Chinese businessmen who are named. And when you look into those 4 businessmen, each and every one of them has ties to the highest levels of Chinese intelligence. So this was a clear effort by Beijing to engage in what they call elite capture, which is basically to try to gain influence or leverage over foreign political leaders. And they succeeded in doing so. And the problem is, of course, that Hunter Biden failed to pay taxes on them, on this money, which is a huge problem and, of course, against the law. But there's also allegations the grand jury is looking into as it relates to money laundering. There are all these things in the corporate records of Biden companies that claim by Hunter Biden and his business partners that they were handling hundreds of millions of dollars in investments for Yelena Baturina, this Russian oligarch. That would be a definition of money laundering, somebody who's trying to hide their assets in the West. So there are a whole host of serious problems, in addition to the fact that the grand jury is looking into what are called FARA violations, which is the Foreign Agents Registration Act. If you are doing anything before the federal government involving a foreign national, a foreign government, or a foreign corporation, you're required to file with the U.S. Justice Department. People have gone to jail for failing to do so. There is huge amounts of evidence in the laptop that Hunter Biden was doing this very thing, that he was representing foreign individuals, foreign companies, and foreign governments to try to get favors done during the Obama-Biden administration, and he never registered at all with the Department of Justice. So there's plenty here for Team Biden to be concerned about. And I think this grand jury seems to be very serious, very engaged, and they seem to have heard a lot of very interesting evidence. Well, I always preface everything, Stu, by saying I'm not an attorney. But if you look at what the law says and you look what Hunter Biden did and what Joe Biden did, which was receive gifts to subsidize his lifestyle as an elected official, that's patently against the law. That's forbidden by federal law. So that's already clear cut. But beyond the legal questions, Stu, we have a national security question here. I mean, China is our chief rival on the global stage. They view themselves as being in this intense competition with us. Imagine if during the Cold War, Jimmy Carter's family or Ronald Reagan's family was doing deals with Russian businessmen that we knew were linked to the KGB. That would be setting off alarm bells on Capitol Hill. And it's my hope that if the Republicans do retake the House of Representatives and or the Senate, that we will have the oversight committees that have subpoena power bring people into questioning. I mean, do we really want to normalize the behavior that says the family members of high-ranking U.S. officials at the Pentagon, the State Department, or the White House can now be doing deals with businessmen linked to foreign intelligence services? I don't think so. So let's not have a Biden exception because if you allow a Biden exception, you are then going to get everybody doing this. Because if there's one ironclad rule of Washington, D.C., Stu, that is if you let people get away with making money in an illicit or dangerous way, a lot more people are going to do it. Maybe it's money, maybe it's prestige and flattery. There are all kinds of techniques they use, but we know that explicitly China has a strategy called elite capture. They've done it in New Zealand, Australia, Singapore. They are doing it in the United States, and it's pretty brilliant. They're essentially going to decapitate America's leadership by buying off the political class. This includes Democrats and Republicans. Mitch McConnell, I would say, is in a similar category as Joe Biden. And they're not looking for robots. They're very sophisticated in the way that they do this. What they're looking for in terms translated to English is what they call big help with a little bad mouth. And what that means is they don't mind if Joe Biden or Mitch McConnell dings them on the Uyghurs or on the human rights situation or maybe some of their military buildup. That's fine. The big help they want is making sure that they have access to our technology, to our markets, our capital markets, and also access to our marketplace so that they can become the preeminent manufacturer on the global stage. And if a political figure will give them that with a little bit of the bad mouth, they are very fine and happy. And if you look at the posture of the Biden administration, it's hard to find anything they've done other than offered a lot of big help with a little bad mouth. And that's what's so disconcerting about what's going on right now.